Hi folks, my little spiel today, my chat in this video is around the lineage of Kundalini Yoga. And in order to even address this topic, I have to rewind the clock to my very first experiences with Kundalini, which were through a VHS tape and in my own living room. And I was a young stay-at-home mom at that time and pregnant and seeking something deeper, something outside of myself, and probably seeking some meaning as well. I found this VHS tape. I really loved the practices. I felt so good, so empowered in my body. Fast forward a couple of years later, postpartum, children getting older, I attended my first Kundalini class. And I clearly did not receive the memo that there was a dress code, that there were all these expectations, these things you were going to know. I felt very out of place. I felt all of those core wounds rise up in me around not fitting in, not being good enough. What was I thinking about being here? I decided at that point that my experience with Kundalini Yoga was going to be a private one of being a solo practitioner, until I craved more. I wanted to learn from people who had been practicing for a long time, and moving through various Kundalini communities, Kundalini trainings, I struggled to stay committed to those communities because there was a little bit too much internal conflict for me around the ways that those practices were taught. I had already done a training with Bessel van der Kolk at that time, and I knew the language of trauma-informed practice, trauma-informed care, and trauma-informed community, and I wasn't seeing any of that within the places and spaces I was trying to fit into at that time. Once again, disenchanted, disheartened, old wounds coming up, I went back to practicing on my own. And even through the process of getting trained as a Kundalini Yoga instructor, there were certain things I was just unwilling to do, and that at the time meant that I couldn't certify, and that felt really hard. I eventually did find a really beautiful Kundalini Yoga community that was welcoming, that was balanced, that felt okay with my prolific level of questioning. And still, the leader ultimately of the westernized version of the practice and organization wasn't in alignment with how I resonate with teachers. So all of that to say that what we do here is Kundalini Yoga through a trauma-informed lens. It is the deep awareness that healing happens within these practices, and actually that healing that people experience is determined, it's inherent. You're capable of healing yourself, and Kundalini can be a tool along the way. So it's important that when we approach any practice, any lineage, we do so with a healthy dose of skepticism, that we question things, we experiment with things, we follow up with people when we're confused, and we never take anything at face value. You know, part of being in this Kundalini community is reclaiming our power. We believe here at Yoga Farm that trauma has the potential to take root wherever there is an absence of choice. And in a lot of Kundalini teachings, a lot of traditional yogic teachings from various lineages, there's a lot of you must do X to experience Y and Z. And here, we want you to be your own guru. We want you to seek that inner teacher that is within you and to trust them and believe them and love them into being. Love them into the becoming that is predetermined, that we're here to do and experience and grow through as human beings. So we do things a little bit different here at Yoga Farm, and I'm really proud of the community that we've created and the support systems that are in place for everyone, and how welcomed students are when they join this community, either as someone watching on the sidelines, a supporting member, or a student in one of our training or continuing education programs. We're just so happy that you're here. Thank you.
It all starts with a ripple, 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 before it becomes a wave.